All right, good win. Talented arms for both clubs, and then clearly the starting pitching today is as good as you'll see. Jamie was on it. I think the 1-2 pitch that the lefty kind of slapped into the corner got it going for them. And each team offensively had to navigate really tough stuff on the mound. That's tough. That's tough stuff. You know, we ran obviously some good arms, and so did they. Zeal gave our guys really no wiggle room. He was on both sides of the plate. Really good slider, good changeup. Jamie matched it. You know, that's the best I've seen Jamie's velocity. And his slider was good. I thought as he went on, he didn't quite have the feel for the slider that he did early, but he's coming back. This is an earlier week for him, and we were at a point where that was enough. We've asked a lot out of Army. It was a lot. We had set up on our plan like one inning, and they have right, left in the first part of that order, and we thought that was a good matchup for him. And clearly the story was Joe, and that's the best I've ever seen his stuff. You guys have watched this longer than me here. That's the best I've ever seen it. I don't think you guys have seen it like that either. That's 97 and change, and a really good slider, and on the attack. And the 3-6-1 double play was clearly the difference in this. If you don't execute that, this could get messy. Cantu did a nice job. Lodis hung in there and handled the throw with some tempo, and then delivered a throw to first base that Joe could handle. Joe was there. Well done. Max, big day, the home run, huge. His other base hit was big. Farrell's leadoff double, the bunt. You have to stack things offensively if you're going to score when the pitching was on point for both sides like it was today. They stacked some things. We stacked some things. We just were able to stack a little bit more there in the 8th inning, I guess, when Max hit the home run.
Just how big was it for Jamie to give you 2 more zeros and get through 7 after that 5th inning?
It was huge. You guys know what we're up against with the pitching right now on the starting side, but the plus of that is we have really good personnel in the bullpen from both sides, righties and lefties, that can help. So him extending this today helps you as you move forward in the series. It helps you a lot. So I'm very proud of him. He's had some bounce back early. It seems like we've played a lot of Thursday games, and it hasn't been just a clean, on-point schedule. He has responded, and he walked out there with the best stuff he's ever had.
Joe, it seems like he struggled a little bit with the command at BC that he hadn't done prior so far this season. Just to see him go back out there and then do it in 13 pitches, just how encouraging is that?
It's great. The crowd, the environment. Sometimes when you're pitching and it's freezing cold and you're on artificial turf and there's not moisture created by anything for you, like when you're on this surface and you have the grass and the clay and the water from the clay, like there's just a little more natural moisture, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it is new. It is a little bit different when you have to deal with conditions like that, so maybe that factored in. But he responded with really the best I've ever seen. That's the best I've ever seen him throw. And it's hard to be better than that. To trot out there with 96, 97, and a 90-mile-an-hour slider.
With Max, did you know he kind of had that ability to hit all fields like he's shown this year? And that's a big home run to hit to the opposite side. It's
funny. He was a guy we dug into a little bit today on some things before the game, and we don't do that often. But we found a couple things that we thought could help him open up the field a little bit more, and he went out and did he had some. I know the first at bat wasn't good, but the other ones, the base hit, the line out, and the home run. If you watch batting practice every day, he does things that very few people can do with the use of the field and the power. Like, it's explosive power. So I think some of the little adjustments he made today helped him free himself up a little bit and was able to handle the zone better, and he really hit a ball hard to all fields, left, center, and right field. So that's good. And he works hard, and he's a smart player.
Cool to win a game like that after what happened on Tuesday, a close nail-biter like that where you had to make some pitches and make some plays on defense.
I mean,
don't score 19.
You can call it cool.
Right.
It's not easy.
Sure.
Like, you're thinking through every pitch, and you know the matchups at the end. Clearly they pinch hit. You've got Ox on point, and you're thinking through every pitch that's thrown and every maneuver that you have to make, because in a game like that, your responsibility is to try to put the personnel in the best possible position to help them execute with what they have in front of them. So it's cool. I've never met an uncool win. I'll tell you that. This was tough today, and they're talented and really good. So anytime you can walk out there and find a way to wiggle out a win, and some days that you can bust it open a little bit, but you have to be able to respond and do things in games that are totally different type of game to find a way to win. So yeah, it's cool. It's nice to see the guys grind through and execute in just unique moments. The 3-6-1, the other double play that we got, Lodis made another really nice play. Like, so the execution of things in a game like this, it is enjoyable to coach that and watch it, especially when you get the cool win.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of along those same lines, though. I mean, just with an emotional week, it's 2 rivalry matchups, Florida back-to-back with Miami, the big win. Were you kind of anxious to see how they would respond tonight, and just the fact that they did grit out that way when it's so opposite than what happened the other day?
Allison, it's exactly what we talked about before the game. This is relentless. Our sport is relentless in the fact that you have to constantly answer and respond because you play so many games and it's in your face. You don't get to enjoy it for 3, 4, 5, 6 days before you reboot. So as nice as Tuesday was, when we met, I said, that's the challenge of this sport, and you have to answer constantly with another good performance. It's relentless, and the only way to stack these things is to have relentless focus on what you're doing one pitch at a time. That's it. This game was totally different. The energy was good, but the guys are still, they're a little gassed. When you look at what we've had to do for the last few weeks of this, and getting back at 2:30 in the morning Monday, that game Tuesday, and now it's Thursday, and here you go. That's what this sport does. It may not be as physically grinding as some of the other sports, but it's the mental, unrelenting nature of what you have to do to play so many games and respond constantly. Hopefully you're responding to good things, but clearly there's moments you're responding to negative things that happen personally or to the team. So a great response, a tough win, but I'm proud of the way the guys competed.
The Warchant Chiefs announced going back Friday. These things are happening pretty quick as far as you guys coordinating it, but just so much fun to have it back again.
I thought Tuesday night, like I told you, was one of the neatest things I've ever seen at a baseball stadium. It was the neatest thing I've ever seen. I've had some crazy things against me. I don't think I've ever had something like that for me as a coach in a stadium for our team. It was a community event. I felt like when you see people climbing up the fence and the wall and standing out there, and the Chiefs are playing from 6 o'clock on, and the concession, they're like, Coach, the numbers of the concession before first pitch was like, sometimes we don't do that in a series. So it brought everybody together, and David and the Chiefs to show the cooperation to do this and then do it again. And it doesn't always line up. Those musicians have other commitments and other responsibilities, so it's not something you can easily just gather them to do. But I thought it was so cool, and it'll be cool again tomorrow, and people will be climbing over the place again to try to get in it. That's really what this is about, and it's for Tallahassee, and the fans create this. Joe Charles and Jamie throwing the way they threw today, it's because of the fans. It's because of the atmosphere, and then you add the Chiefs into it, and it just takes this whole thing to another level.